by addressing the events overnight. Every single person here believes that UN Security Council Resolution 2722 should and must be adhered to, that the Houthi attacks in the Red Sea must stop. We are consistent, and the SNP have always been consistent in our position, that we believe all UN resolutions should be adhered to. We don't believe that countries should be selective in what UN resolutions they choose to comply with. Before action, serious military interventions took place, the MPs, who have been elected, of course, to represent the people, should have had their say. The UK, let's be honest about this, does not have a good track record when it comes to military intervention, particularly in the Middle East. That is why the House of Commons should have been recalled today, ahead of an military action that was taken, in order to allow our MPs to debate and, yes, to scrutinise the UK government's plans for military action.
Well, firstly, it's absolutely absurd that I'm speaking to you in Glasgow when I should be in London, in Parliament, asking the Prime Minister directly about the decisions that he has taken and the consequences of those decisions, both in the medium and long term. I don't think anyone would disagree with the fact that we need to have safety when it comes to navigation on our seas. That's vital for you and me and everyone right across these aisles when it comes to the goods which we require. But we need to know what the government's strategy is here, and as usual, Rishi Sunak appears to be hiding from that, and that does our democracy no good whatsoever, and it poses real questions.
I'm sure what the UK government would say is they had to act quickly in this situation, that the attacks in the Red Sea have been ongoing. They even tried to attack British and American warships. Well, what was the alternative, do you think, to the course of action that they're now taking?
I think what had to happen was, Parliament was sitting yesterday, Parliament closed, and then the Prime Minister obviously briefed the Cabinet. There's no reason why Parliament couldn't be back sitting having these discussions, and the government could be putting forward those arguments to us as parliamentarians in order to have that full discussion about where we are and where we need to be. It is absolutely vitally important that navigation of the seas is free to all those who are seeking to transfer goods. That's an inherent right. It's why the UN has responded in the way that they have. But we need to know what the government's intention is in the medium and long term, and that's where I should be able to ask the Prime Minister those questions. Parliament should be recalled.
So you think, just to be clear then, when the Prime Minister spoke to opposition leaders last night, you were not a part of that?
As far as I understand it, nobody in the Scottish National Party has been briefed at any stage by the UK government in relation to this matter. I find that deeply disappointing. We are, of course, the third party in Westminster. It is incumbent upon us in a parliamentary democracy to respect different parties and to ensure that they're fully aware of the decisions that are being taken, particularly when it relates directly to our military personnel, many of whom, of course, are based in Scotland, and indeed many of whom have families here in Scotland. I would like to know what's going on so that I can address the concerns that we have, but also know what is going to happen in the medium and long term in relation to any military action in the Middle East.